Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Boston Tea Party hosted by Bennett Elementary, Dusek Group 3.
The cause of the French and Indian War was because both the French and the British claimed the Ohio River Valley. The French and the Indians fought against the British. The British won, but England was now in debt.
In 1763, me, Pontiac, the Ottawa leader, revolted against the British settlers moving into the Ohio River Valley. I called this Pontiac's Rebellion. I won several battles until King George III shut down these attacks with a promise.
This promise was called the Proclamation of 1763 and said the colonists could not settle west of the Appalachian Mountains.
The Sugar Act in 1764 taxed sugar, coffee, and wine and indigo. The money helped pay for the soldiers to protect the United Territories from the French and Indian War, as well as to decrease England's debt. I have an announcement to make. I am setting a new act, the Sugar Act. They will have to buy goods from us and ship us the money to us.
You hear that, friends? You'll have to buy stuff from us.
In 1764, the Currency Act was passed, prohibiting colonists from issuing any legal paper money. This was a threat to the colonial economically, and both the northern and southern colonies united against it.
The Stamp Act was passed by the British Parliament on March 22nd, 1765. The new tax was imposed on all American colonists and required them to pay a tax on every piece of printed paper they used.
Ships, papers, legal documents, licenses, newspapers, other publications, and even playing cards were taxed. The money collected by the Stamp Act was to be used to help pay the cost of defending and protecting the American frontier near the Appalachian Mountains.
The Declaratory Act was a statement saying that the colonies were no longer self-governed. King George III had total rule over all of the colonies.
What next? I can't take any more bad news.
We are still low on money. We need to make a new act. It will be known as the Townsend Act. It shall tax lead, paint, and tea.
These new taxes are unfair. No taxation without representation.
No, these taxes are needed.
The Townsend Act was passed in 1767. These taxes angered most of the colonists, but loyalists thought these taxes were fair. Loyalists are civilized or people in the British Army that respect and support King George III.
No taxation without representation. We have to get rid of these soldiers.
To prevent violence between the Loyalists and Patriots in Boston, Massachusetts Governor Thomas Hutchinson requested assistance from the British Army, and in 1768, 4,000 Redcoats landed in the city to help maintain order.
On March 5, 1770, an angry colonial mob clashed with several British troops. The mob threw snowballs and rocks at the soldiers. The British shot into the crowd, killing 3 people, mortally wounded 2 people, and injured 6 others.
Bang, bang, bang. This became known as the Boston Massacre. News of the Boston Massacre quickly spread throughout the colonies.
King George III passed the Tea Act in May of 1773. This act made it nearly impossible to buy tea from any company other than the British East India Company. In October, 3 ships bringing tea sailed into the Boston harbor. On the night of December 16, 1773, Samuel Adams and the Sons of Liberty boarded 3 ships still anchored in the Boston harbor. They threw 342 chests of tea overboard.
Look out below.
The king passed new laws to punish the colonists for dumping all the tea in the harbor. This law were harsh, so they called them the Intolerable Act.
By 1774, the colonists were very mad at Great Britain. They decided to take action because they were taxing people without representation. In September, representatives from every colony except Georgia met at the First Continental Congress in Philadelphia.
They voted to stop all trade with Britain until the Intolerable Acts were repealed. They decided that each colony would train a militia and set a date to meet in a year if the problem was solved.
Things did not get better, and in 1775, British soldiers marched to Lexington and surrounded the Patriot Army. Someone fired. This became known as shot heard around the world. The Revolutionary War had begun. Representatives from each of the colonies again met in Philadelphia in 1775, just as they had met for the First Continental Congress a year before. The Second Continental Congress had many decisions to make about the war.
One of the first things they did was create the Continental Army. George Washington was chosen to lead the army. George Washington had fought the French and Indian War and was a skilled soldier. Congress decided to have a committee write the Declaration of Independence.
Thomas Jefferson wrote the final draft of the Declaration of Independence. It stated that King George III had abused his power, so the American colonists decided to declare independence. The Continental Congress adopts the Declaration of Independence on July 1776, establishing the United States of America. That's all, folks.
Thank you for coming to our show.